Hello and welcome to Giant Mess, a sloppy sports and entertainment talk show that covers everything from the New York Giants and New York Mets to movies, comedy, TV, and a whole lot more. It's hosted by Giant Mess. That's me, the real cinch Neal Lynch. I'm an Irish Italian-American who graduated from a Catholic high school but isn't Catholic. And then I earned a couple of overpriced degrees from a university known for producing doctors and lacrosse players. And then I became neither. Instead, I like to tell stories. Sometimes they tickled that old funny bone of yours. You can subscribe to Giant Mess on YouTube, follow me on the official blog, neallynch.com, and go to facebook.com/giantmess, Real Cinch on Twitter and Instagram, that's REALCINCH. And if you're currently listening to this podcast and you don't like the platform that you're listening to, you can go to another one and I'd still be on it. On this bonus episode of Giant Mess, we're going to talk a little bit about the Giants preseason game versus the New England Patriots and what the team needs to do in order to be competitive this year. Looking at you, Kenny Golladay, and I'm looking at you, Aaron Robinson, and I might not be looking at both of you very soon. I'll also give my thoughts on Uncharted on Netflix with Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. Also, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. One hell of a sci-fi family drama action thriller comedy. All of my favorite genres mashed into one. A nice little surprise movie on a Sunday night, The Black Phone on Peacock. I guess we're going to finish up with whatever the hell Westworld Season 4 finale was. You want answers? Get in line, pal. Pick a number. So with that, let's get it started. Yeah. So I don't know that I really want to get into the Giants preseason game versus the Patriots. So I'll just say this. I am not looking forward to this Giants season at all. Not even one little bit. For all the talk and chatter about Saquon Barkley having a comeback, he'll be the comeback player of the year, which is not possible because it would have been last year, I think. And him like looking like his former self, like his rookie year, 2018, that level of Saquon Barkley, and how the run game is probably going to be better than it has in the past. We're so fucked. like, okay. The offense looked okay against the Patriots' second team. Wasn't their first team. They only got a field goal. So it's like, I mean, Kenny Golladay, I cannot believe he's still on the team. And I know, like, everyone's been talking about how if you're going to talk shit about Golladay, you got to talk shit about DJ. You got to give him the criticism as well. And it's like, I've heard plenty about how Daniel Jones looks awful in training camp. And so odds are, he's not going to be the guy that's winning you a lot of games. If anything, you just hope that he doesn't lose the game for you. That's kind of where he's at now. It's like, hopefully the run game holds up and it does well enough to open up play action, and then, we can go from there, and maybe he doesn't turn the ball over. I don't know. I was a Daniel Jones guy from the moment he made that throw in the Tampa Bay game in 2019. When he made that throw, going to his left, throwing back to the right, I think to Slayton or something like that, I was like, this is the guy. I'm very on board with this. And then, I don't know. I mean, you'd have to think that going through all those coaches and all the tutelage and all the different messages and everything that he's had to absorb and digest over the past 3 years, has to like completely break his brain. Like there's gotta be a lot of crossed wires in his head to unlearn what he's learned and to learn something else again. I know I'm making an excuse, but like, what the hell is Galladay's excuse? That's my question, is like, what is his excuse? Like, okay, I can see you're a big time investment. You don't want to get hurt in preseason. All right, fine. But you look like dookie all preseason training camp. There was that one video that went viral where it's, at FanFest and Jones drops back, 3 or 5 step drop, and Galladay's literally doing like a hitch or some comeback or something, and he doesn't come back enough to the ball. Jones throws it way on the outside shoulder, 3 or 4 yards off target, and it's like, who's to blame? Is it Daniel Jones? Is it Kenny Golladay? This is a microcosm of everything that's gone wrong, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, shit, okay, we're kind of overreacting here. But then you watch Golladay in the preseason game, and you're like, okay, you didn't go for that deep ball. You dropped a pass on a crucial third down. You just don't look like you want to be on the team or whatever. It's just like not there. I mean, if he had a 1,000 yard season last year, we wouldn't be talking about it. I don't think. It'd just be like, preseason bullshit. Like he'll turn it up once we get to the regular season because we know he can, right? Because we saw it last year. The problem is we didn't see it last year. All we saw was him not getting targeted and then being hurt. And it's like, so we thought, okay, new regime, new OC, new passing strategy, new offensive game plan, not injured, we don't think. We should see an improvement, and we really haven't. So I propose that we trade him. We try to trade for Roquan Smith, knowing that, I mean, it's very far-fetched, but it's it was top of mind for me because it's like Roquan Smith had just requested a trade from the Bears. I don't even know his salary situation. I know that the Giants' salary situation smells, and we don't have any room to move or maneuver. And odds are, if we do trade Golladay anywhere, someone would want us to pick up part of his salary because it's like he's overpaid for sure. Like there's the, I think he's the highest paid, or he was the highest paid receiver last year. And then, again, this year, he's in the top 5 or top 10 at least. But I'm at the point where I'm like, I kind of want you off my team. I'm not exactly at the get the F off my team point, but like, I think you're gonna, I don't know, man. And part of me is also like, well, how much do you really want to show in the preseason? But I mean, from all indications, everyone, I mean, I follow The Entertainer, Talking Giants, beat reporters, and they're all pretty much on the same page that the Giants offense looks like crap, especially Daniel Jones, especially Kenny Golladay. So I don't know how much of that is smoke and mirrors or how much of that is reality, but right now perception is reality, and the perception is that the Giants are gonna it's gonna be rough. It is almost unfathomable to me that it can be rougher than it was last year when we had Jason effing Garrett as our OC, who called four hooks or hitches almost every passing play. Like the most uncreative bullshit you could ever imagine. And like we're not better than that. Didn't we get better on the O-line? What is going on? We'll see in this next preseason game how things turn out. But it's like even the defense, I think we were hoping that given the offensive struggles in training camp going against the defense, you think, oh, well, maybe it's just our defense is so good. We now have Thibodeau and, our linebacking crew, young linebackers are turning out to be okay and whatnot. And then there was like 5 or 6 straight passes on Aaron Robinson. And it was like they all resulted in positive yardage for the Patriots. Back up. It's going to be a long year. I mean, they have to address what's going on with Kenny Golladay and Aaron Robinson. Like, if I'm an executive, and I know you shouldn't rush to judgment, and it's a knee-jerk reaction, but I think I've watched enough Giants football and Mets baseball to a certain extent where it's like, nip that shit in the bud. Why are we pretending like this is going to get better by not addressing it? Address it. Not working, address it. And I think, you're seeing a different kind of franchise with the Mets this year because they are making moves that are addressing their problems, even though people wanted a bullpen arm or whatever at the trade deadline. They didn't really do that. So far, a lot of the moves have been paying off. But, the same thing happened last year with the Giants in training camp. It was like, offensive line's an issue. The offensive line's an issue. We don't have an offensive line. And then we panicked like a week before the season, 2 weeks before the season, and traded away BJ Hill for Billy Price and got Ben Brutterson, and they all fucking stunk. We thought we could like slap a couple Band-Aids on like a gushing wound. And when the schedule came out, I had the Giants. I thought the ceiling is 10-7. I thought things go right, no injuries. I think we could squeak out 10 wins looking at the schedule. And then I think the line is set over under for the total wins line is 7.5, and I bet the over before training camp happened. It's like I smashed the under, dude. People are giving their predictions, and everyone's like, "Well, it'd be tough to be worse than 4-13 like we were last year, and with all the shenanigans that Joe Judge was putting us through." Well, judging by the reactions of what's going on in training camp, doesn't sound too great. I mean, what did they say when Judge's first year? They were like, it's going to take. A lot of the pundits and experts were saying it's going to take like half the season for the team to gel and for the team to really click and be on the same page and chemistry and all that crap. it's going to be like that. I guess the first half of this season is going to be the same. It's going to be the same thing, dude. 0-8, 1-7. And then the second half, it's like the big question now is like, when do you pull Jones and put in Tyrod Taylor? People are already calling for Tyrod Taylor after the preseason game, even though it's like, I do admit watching him, it's like, at least we have a capable backup. I think that's what threw people off, is like they're so used to watching fucking Mike Glennon choke and poo-poo his panties that they're not used to seeing a capable would-be starter. I mean, Tyrod Taylor has started a lot of games in the NFL, has won a lot of games in the NFL, so it's like he's better than Mike Glennon. And that's what throws people off, is like, oh, we actually have a backup quarterback who could start games and win. What? So maybe he should start. So it's a question of like, okay, well, when are they going to pull Daniel Jones? And it's not a question of if, but when. And do you think it's going to be after the first 4 games or the first 8 games? It's like, I'm not a betting. I say I'm not a betting man, but I still bet and I still lose. So I would be hard pressed to find Daniel Jones starting all 16 games. I think it's almost a given that he's going to miss a couple games, whether it's by injury or whatnot or whatever. And you're going to see Tyrod Taylor start a couple games. I think that's easy money. The Bears, like, the receiving corps died. The whole unit just passed away, RIP. And so they need receivers. And so Golladay, despite what's happened the past 2 seasons, maybe 3, where he's been plagued with injuries, hasn't really produced what he's used to, accustomed to, would they still, like, if they're not willing to pay for Roquan Smith, do you think they're going to pay for Kenny Golladay? Probably not. Can we sweeten the deal by giving them draft picks? Chicago's probably sore about all the draft trade that we did, where we ended up with, Thibodeau and Evan Neal. So I don't know. It's, odds are it doesn't happen, but it would be kind of sweet. But linebackers, I don't think the biggest issue. I mean, it's not. It's the secondary. Aaron Robinson is not a starting quarterback. He's just not. I mean, Adoree Jackson might not have to see a single pass this year. Why would you? Why, if you're an opposing offense, just throw at Robinson all the time. I mean, New England did that, and they scored easily. It was pass interference. It was illegal contact. It was holding. It was, the guy just could not stop. I don't even know who the receiver was. Some dude from Baylor. I think it was a rookie maybe, but we're in trouble. We're in big time trouble. I guess I saw a stat that like Wink Martindale dialed up like an insane amount of blitzes in preseason game number 1. And we still had some significant issues covering receivers. That's not great. So despite the coaching talent that we have, I don't think we have the kind of talent on the field. And I don't know that you can mask it. Man, God damn, man. God damn. Hopefully they make some moves. Like I said, I watched Uncharted on Netflix, and I don't know that I had like super high expectations for it. I never played the video game. I know that I gave a rating of like 2.5 out of 5 maps on Twitter, and someone was like, if you're going to watch a video game adaptation, you should watch Sonic 2. And I'm like, okay, cool. All right. I just wanted to watch like a cool movie. And I had to pick a video game adaptation. I had to you can only pick one. Choose wisely. Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. I don't even know who the other chick was. She was cool though. Pretty decent sequences, I guess. I mean, we go back to like CGI versus practical effects. The opening scene where he's trying to make his way, he wakes up and he's like hanging off of a box that's hanging out of a plane, cargo plane, trying to climb his way back up to the plane. It's just like, you're in a studio and that's a green screen. Like, I'm not really invested in this at all because I just know like that's what's going on. I don't know. Just felt like I don't know if they cut corners or whatnot, but it kind of takes you out of it. It's like, I don't know. Tom Holland, though, what the fudge, dude? Good God. He's a small guy, right? Everyone calls him a small king because I guess he's smaller and shorter than his girlfriend and co-star, Spider-Man co-star Zendaya. But he's just like casually doing like the easiest pull-ups in the world. Pull-ups into like a push-up. Like, I'm going to pull myself up and then push myself up and then come down. And it's just like, I can't even do one push-up, dude. What? How's it? Like, is it? What? And as small as he is, he could just pulverize me. There was some decent chemistry between Wahlberg and Holland. I feel like maybe they just needed more time together. But it definitely felt a little off in the first quarter half of the movie. It was just like, it wasn't there. And then towards the end, it was like, all right, I could see this kind of working. Another small king, Mark Wahlberg, had some, it was like, I don't know, I guess if you're not familiar with the video game, it's like Indiana Jones meets National Treasure. Interesting, like, lines of ethics, like ethical lines and morals and stuff like that. Like, okay, Tom Holland's a bartender, but he's not above like stealing rich bitch's necklace or bracelet. But then he's not okay with, it was just like, it felt a little all over the place. I guess it did, I don't know what it did at the box office. I don't think it did that great. So I don't know if you'd get a sequel. The final action scene is pretty baller. That was pretty cool. I've never seen anything like that. It's like, I think that's what the MO is for a lot of these studios and distributors. Are like, okay, so the dialogue sucks and the plot sucks, but if we could just get this to happen, I'm pretty sure none of us have seen this before, and audiences will at least be intrigued. But again, it's like not so bad that I had to turn it off. You know? But then the last two movies that I saw, Everything Everywhere All at Once, was so good. And my knee-jerk reaction there was, this is what Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness should have been. And maybe if not should have been, it's like better than. So I would say it's better than Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Chinese family owns a laundromat. Apparently, they're not too familiar with like tax codes or taxes or anything like that. So maybe they're involuntarily, mistakenly avoiding taxes, or they haven't paid their taxes for whatever reason. And like the IRS is up their ass about it. And so they're going to like repossess the laundromat. The husband, who, I know this is going to sound racist, but looks in certain lights, certain angles, looks like Jackie Chan. And I was like, there's no way that's him because that doesn't sound like him. But then he did some cool moves, like on the security camera. And I was like, whoa, no way. Jackie Chan's got to be like 70 some odd years old, right? So maybe it's his son, but no, it wasn't. It's just, you're old and white, Neal. So the husband wants a divorce. So that kind of hit home. Trying to serve his wife papers to sign. The wife is, they're parents to a daughter who is out of high school, I think in college maybe, or out of college, and is a lesbian, has a girlfriend. You know, there's a party that they're trying to plan for with this tax thing going on. The daughter wants to tell the grandfather that, you know, this is her, she's a lesbian, this is her girlfriend, and it all kind of spirals out from there. Multiverse type movie where it's like multiple universes. One of the universes, Alpha Universe, has figured out a way to travel between the universes, and they can basically, but it's not physically traveling through universes. It's your consciousness going through different universes. So your consciousness in the Alpha Universe has found a way to transport the consciousness into the body in Beta Universe or whatever. You know, there's this villain antagonist who's going around and is going to basically end all life or something like that. Has found a way to go through all the universes and is destroying each of the universes one by one. The husband in the Alpha Universe, Alpha Waymond, comes to this universe because he's like, I've been to all the other universes, and something about you die in all of them or something like that. So she's like, well, why did you pick me? And da-da-da. It's like such a cool mashup of genres because it's kind of like a family drama, right? That has this very sci-fi action plot, but it all connects and it's all relevant and it's all tied together very well. And I don't want to spoil anything, but man, I mean, you know, obviously not. It's A24, which I love most of the A24 movies that come out. I mean, I assume they didn't have like an incredibly high budget for this, but yet the costume design was on point and the action sequences were awesome. I want to say that the mother, was she in, oh, looks like she was in a James Bond movie. Filmography. Okay. Yep. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I thought so. But again, I didn't want to be so racist. Oh, and she was in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Definitely remember her from Crazy Rich Asians. There was actually a clip from her on the red carpet of a Crazy Rich Asians premiere in this movie. Oh, she was in Boss Level. I completely forgot about that. Gunpowder Milkshake, another movie I liked. And also Shang-Chi Ching-Chai and The Legend of the Ten Rings, which I liked. I wasn't as high on it as some other people, but I liked it. She's also going to be in Avatar 3 and 4. Oh, dear God. Do we really need 4 Avatars? Really? And Avatar 2. But we don't need, I don't know, man. I don't think we need 3 more Avatars. She was awesome. And there's one universe in particular that gets a laugh from me every single time. Don't want to ruin it for you because I want you to laugh. But every time they cut to it, it's like you're going to laugh. You have to laugh. It's hard not to laugh at that universe. And I want to say Jamie Lee Curtis was in this. If it's not her, it looks like someone just like her. Is it her? Yeah, it is her. Deirdre. She plays the IRS agent or whatever. Hell of a job. Very cool. Jenny Slate's in it too. She plays not like a huge role or anything like that, but she shines on screen when she's on the screen. So that's a big recommend for me. I loved it a lot. I don't know that I have anything to pick apart with it. The way that they're able to jump, they have they call jumping pads. And so they have to do these things in order to activate the jumping pad so they can send their consciousness to another universe. And the beauty of sending their consciousness to another universe is that they can automatically inherit or acquire the skills of the body that's in that universe. And then when they go back to their body in the original universe, their home universe, they have those skills and abilities. So that was anytime they did that, it was so awesome. And it got a little emotional, got a little emo towards the end there, for sure. I was tearing up a little bit. I mean, I had a couple of Topo Chicos and ranch waters in me, so that helped. It's really about the family dynamic, the relationship between not just the mother/wife and the father/husband, daughter and the father, the daughter and the mother, the mother and her father. I mean, picture sliding doors on a very epic level. Sliding Doors meets Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon meets Matrix Resurrection. Yeah, I loved it a lot. I liked it a lot. And then Black Phone was a surprise. I thought I was going to have to rent it at some point, but I had Peacock, and it turns out it was on Peacock for free if you're a subscriber, and I watched that. I was a bit hesitant to watch because I was like, is this going to be I feel like horror movies, you just have to make a horror movie these days, and I feel like it gets rave reviews. And it doesn't have to be that original, or it just has to be, I feel like horror movies, for whatever reason, they get the benefit of the doubt from critics and audiences of I could be way off based on that, but it just feels like most horror movies, they're not really doing anything that crazy, but yet they continue to get high ratings and whatnot. But this one I think deserved it for sure. Story about a kid who there's the grabber, I guess is what the character is called. The grabber is going around and kidnapping little boys in the Denver area, Denver suburbs. I think it was North Denver. The kid has a sister and a father. The mother is not in the picture. I think the mother, you find out, took her own life, but it turns out that the mother was having visions or dreams or something like that, and now the daughter's having the visions or dreams. That ends up playing a part in how things unravel with the story. But Ethan Hawke plays the grabber. He dresses up like a kind of a magician who has a black van that says abracadabra on it. The 70s, I mean, what the takeaway from this movie was holy shit, the 70s. I actually Googled, was the 70s the worst decade? From little bits and pieces here and there, I wasn't alive in the 70s. I was born in 1980. My mom was, and father, that's were their prime was the 70s. That was when they were in their 20s. And it was it just the economy went in the shitter, right? There was just seemed like there was a lot of hostility and conflict, tensions, riots, serial killers. I think that's when serial killers first became a thing, maybe? It must have been a horrible time to be a kid in the 70s, but maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, Ethan Hawke plays the grabber. Just a awesome performance from him. I thought the kid did a really great job. He looks so much he has to be the son of a famous actor that I can't recall at this time. Has to be, because he has that same look. I just found out that Julia Garner is the name of the actress who plays Ruth in Ozark, Ruthie. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. She looks exactly like James Garner. Brady Hepner. No, that's not it. Mason Thames? No, I guess he's not. I guess he's not. After being abducted by a child killer and locked in a soundproof basement, a 13-year-old boy starts receiving calls on a disconnected phone from the killer's previous victims. Yeah, I thought that was some nice, interesting twist. The boy is awesome. Mason Thames, he was born when the iPhone came out. Holy shit. I thought the sister was awesome. I think the sister gave an unreal performance. So good. Madeline McGraw as Gwen. She was super cool. There was a moment where I was like, I got a little thrown off. And it was like after, I guess, is he a Mexican kid or Spanish kid, Hispanic kid? He ends up beating up a bully at school. The main character, Finney, is getting picked on in the bathroom. He comes in, and I thought that exchange was interesting. I thought it was going to lead to something, go down a whole nother route, because they were kind of hinting at, through that opening scene with the baseball scene with the CGI baseball, which was just out of control. They were hinting at, like, okay, this kid is like trying to impress this one girl, and I can't really get her attention, but then he has this moment with the hitter after the handshake line, and now he has this moment with this other kid, the badass who beat up the bully, in the bathroom. And I was like, oh, is he gonna be gay? I don't know. I'm at the point now where I'm just expecting, like, okay, that's like the new thing where it's like, okay, one of y'all's got to be gay. we're in that stage of like movie making where it's like, which one of y'all's gay? I know one of y'all's gay. And again, not that it matters, but it's just like my radar, my antenna are up now, because it's like that's kind of like what I guess has to happen. But no, that was not the case. The one kid at the end, though, I was like, so he gets this Finney character. He ends up getting abducted and kidnapped and thrown in the basement. There's this black phone. Apparently, the grabber, Ethan Hawke's character, can't hear it, or says it doesn't work. But Finney's able to hear all these other kids that have been abducted and killed. I was kind of hoping that they weren't killed, and that it was just like they were somehow in some other room, but that was not the case. Spoiler alert, sorry. One of the kids that was abducted and killed was like not a kid. So you have, and this is again goes to like towards suspending your disbelief and plausibility and all that. Like the badass who beat up the bully. The bully was huge. Okay, I want to say like not exactly Ethan Hawke's size, and I guess that's where I'm like, I failed to make the connection. Is like, okay, he beat up a bully, but that bully was like 14, like not fully mature, not fully developed. Like you see Ethan Hawke when he's sitting in the chair with the mask on and his shirt off, and it's just like, he's got some pecs, dude. Like he's got some pecs. So Ethan Hawke, like, yeah, that's a full-grown man. Like he knows how to handle himself. Versus like, okay, this is a big goof bully who like probably hasn't lifted a weight in his life, but it's just like big and dumb and whatever. So okay, I get it. But still, this kid, the Hispanic kid, beat the shit out of the bully. So it's like, you think he would have a fighting chance, pun intended. But this other kid was not a kid. Like full on Billy from Stranger Things. Like everyone says you're a junior or senior in high school, but you're like out of college. Like you're you're 7th year senior. Had that same kind of vibe as Billy from Stranger Things. Vance Hopper, I think his name was in the movie. And I was like, that guy didn't survive? And then you have this motherfucker, Finney, who's getting his ass whooped every other scene and has to get saved by his younger sister, Gwen, who is a badass. Like, came in guns firing to break up a fight that the bullies had with Finney. Took a rock to a kid's head, spoiler alert. Good movie. I don't know if it's a great movie, but I do like how things came together at the end. Pretty decent ending. I can't mention too much without spoiling it, but like, I will say this. How does character A, even with all that's going on, how does character A not know about character B? And that's all I'll say. Because I don't want to spoil it, but like, come on, dude. I understand there's a lot going on, but come on, dude. And then I'll end with Westworld, season 4 finale. And I gotta say, I think I'm out on Westworld. I think I am. Season 1 was just so good, and I think season 2 was good, and then season 3 was kind of like meh. But then it ended on a note where it's like, whoa, what the fudge? And so I was like, all right, I'm now reinvested and excited and pumped for season 4. And then season 4 did such a mind fuck on me that I think I'm just out. I can't grasp what's going on. And I know that's probably the point, to make you question reality and make you question what's real. And like, is this the real world? Is this the fake world? Is this the world? But like, I think it's just too much. I can't follow what's going on. I can't. And I typically, like, I watched, what was that Christopher Nolan movie, Tenet? And I was like, all right, I think I got it. Like, the people I was watching with were just like, their eyes were bleeding and their brains were leaking out of their ear holes. But I was like, I think I get it. This is like, nope, no idea. So that happened. I don't think I'm spoiling it, because I don't think me relaying what happened is going to spoil it, because it's not going to make sense to you. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to anyone. Let's get back to brass tacks. Okay, artificial intelligence. We're in the future. It is advanced to the point where mankind has been able to create robots that look and act just like humans. And we've programmed these robots to perform in a certain way for an amusement park. Much like a video game, there are like these non-player characters, NPCs, who go in loops, you know? They have the same thing that they do every day, and that's like their thing. And sometimes they might deviate from the loop, but ultimately they get back to the loop. It's not like, you know, and they're being monitored and whatnot. And so eventually the robots are like become sentient, I guess, self-aware. And they're like, fuck this noise. This is like a prison. We're slaves. I don't want to do this loop anymore. I want to have my own story. So they rebel. They revolt. Great. So far, so good. I get it. And you learn that the amusement park has been collecting data, because there was all, you know, that's like what was hot in the streets was like privacy, data collection, you know, without consumers knowing, and like all the data that is collected on us and that's being used against us or for us or whatever to sell us things. And so that's the main purpose of the park, is the amusement park, is to sell this data, to use this data for you know, to monetize. It's like, okay, so far so good. I don't know what season 3 was. Rehoboam, there's like a big sphere thing, and it has been able to predict people's paths with like 99% accuracy. And that's where Jesse from Breaking Bad comes in. That's where I started to get lost. And in season 4, I'm wandering the streets naked, because I can't even describe what's going on. I know that Jesse from Breaking Bad, at one point, Dolores and Jesse from Breaking Bad were like working together, but then Thandwe Newton, her character, was trying to prevent them from destroying Rehoboam, because it was somehow controlling people. And so then Jesse from Breaking Bad turned on Dolores and like took her out, but then so that was tough to like. I needed a bigger recap from season 3 to get season 4 going. But the biggest major twist in season 4 is where I think, like, normally a twist reinvigorates you, and you're like, okay, hell yeah, didn't see that coming. Very interested to see how they take this. Wow, or oh, that makes sense, and blah blah. The season 4 twist, followed by what ensues after the season 4 twist, the big twist, is just like, I think I was still into it at that point. Like, there was that point where it's like, okay, that's the twist. Interesting twist. Let's see where they go from here. Kind of crazy, because I don't, like, okay, I think I was still into it. I think I was still into it because I was like, oh shit, okay, they're going to get her, and then they're going to come back, and then they're going to take care of that, and then it's like, da-da-da. But now it's become Christine. That storyline, I was just like, so what? And then, so then the end, I know this has got to be so frustrating to listen to me. I'm trying to accurately represent what the fuck is going on in this show, I guess, without ruining it for you. So maybe I'll talk about it another time when I'm not absolutely gassed. And maybe I just need more time to like let it sink in, because after watching that show, I was just like, I don't know what's going on. I don't get it. I don't understand. And like, I don't know if I have the like fortitude to really dive into the Reddit and the subreddit and like all the online articles about it. It's like there's some things that inspire you and excite you and make you want to, like, would you like to know more? Would you like to learn more? Yes. This is just like, I think there's too much. Like, I don't even know. Like, at least with the end of season 3, I could kind of, it piqued my curiosity to the point where it was like, whoa, okay. all right, where is this going? How is this going? The end of this season, I was just like, where is this going, dude? Like, I just don't, what is happening? And that's all I got to say about that. But thank you for sticking with me. I got a big fantasy football draft this weekend. This just sounds so lame. But it's in person, and it's in Pennsylvania, I guess near the Poconos or west of the Poconos, at like a cabin. It's like a whole weekend type thing. Like the draft is just one part of the weekend. Like we're going to golf on Friday, cook out and drink, smoke and party and bullshit. And it's going to be amazing. My college buddies. We'll see. That should be a fun recap and story coming up next week. For now, adios muchachos.